Is to get ready with me. I just popped up in my videos and longer content what I'm using this week. It's so hot here today. So just testing the algorithm, guys, seeing how we get along. My last video, if you just had a look at it, or if you have looked at it, it's just everything I've changed around because I've got so much makeup. I'm trying to kind of just use what I have basically. So I'll get to it in a minute. I'll just wait for a few people. And if not, if you're looking back, I realize it's 1 o'clock UK time, so it may be people are in work, etc. But if you are on, do let me know. We're going to stick with this and see what works. Okay, I'm really, really hot today and I'm not good at water, but a straw really helps. I just got these earrings recently from Etsy, from Saltwater Secrets. And they're really pretty, but I wouldn't really wear them in work, but they're quite pretty, so I'll wear them today. Okay, so let me know when you're on, and I'll just start with the primer. I realize it's quite early, but I kind of wanted to just testing the algorithm in the next couple of weeks, seeing what works. Okay, so if you're new to the channel or you're just looking on the stream, my name is Kira. I do beauty, I do personal care, mental health videos, and primarily beauty and mental health. But do take a check and look at the channel. I appreciate all the new subscribers as well, so thank you for that. But I've got my water here today because I certainly need it. It's so hot. But yes, thank you for joining. And again, if you're in work or school, etc., do let me know. And you can pop down when you've watched it afterwards. So I'm just going to start with the primer. And this is the Rimmel Fix and Perfect primer. And really creamy, really moisturizing. Hi, Progamar. I'm good. Thank you for joining. How are you today? It's really weird. It's showing me comments from people, but it's saying that there's not people on. So I don't know if that's something wrong with YouTube, but it's showing me everyone's comments. But thank you for joining, Progamar. Have you come on before? Okay. I will not accept, guys, any comments that are not appropriate, just to let you know. Okay? This is a primarily makeup channel. And if you are continuing to be that way, I will just remove you. So we're going to move on from there. Okay, I don't suggest that kind of thing. This is a makeup channel. So yes, we're going to move on from that. So yeah, what we're going to do is start with the Rimmel, and this is the 5-in-1 Fix and Perfect primer. So it is a base. It smooths, resurfaces, brightens, mattifies, and protects. So I'm just going to pop that on. We're going to kind of use what we have today. I know there's so many new foundations. There's so many new mascaras, and it makes you look at what you have first before you go out and buy. So that's what we're doing today. I'll be using for the foundation will be the It Cosmetics Your Skin But Better CC foundation in Nude Glow. It's SPF 40 and it's brightening as well, so that's great. And then I'm going to mix that with the Rimmel Multitask Concealer, and that is better than filters. So I'll just say, Jason and Progamar, if you continue this, you will just be kicked out of this live. Okay, this is primarily for makeup and mental health. So there are people that come on and request these. So just be very aware in the comments of what you're doing, okay? Or else you will be removed. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix these two together. We have people under 16 here, okay, guys, so just be aware of what you're commenting, okay? I appreciate this time is really good, and I appreciate you looking at the channel. I'm here to kind of help out with makeup, skincare, and I also do mental health. Jason, if you continue to comment, you will just be removed. Okay, so hi Terry. So yeah, so this is I got this on Cult Beauty. It's I think it was £28. It is the It Cosmetics CC Nude Glow SPF 40. And Jason, I will just say one more time, if you continue, you will be kicked out. You have about 3 chances and then you go. Okay, that's just how it is. I'm afraid I do not take any, let's just say, harassment, to put it in YouTube terms. So I'm just moving that around the face. Okay, really nice. It's a serum, So it feels really good. And I think makeup that has mostly skincare, they've really looked at their products, what's on and what works and what doesn't. So if there's hyaluronic acid and squalene in this as well. So that's what we're going to do. You can see it kind of just made a little bit more of a difference. The glow is there, but all my skincare is done. So that's probably helped as well. A lot of serums. I put on 2 or 3 serums. And now what we're going to do is go in with the Multitask Better Than Filters by Rimmel. And this can come in light, medium, fair, light, medium, and dark. I think I definitely got the wrong color. It's fair, but it definitely gives, like, I'm going to be using it as a highlighter, really. So this is just quick summer makeup. It's not anything too heavy, guys, because I don't like to make, even though I do a lot of eyeshadow tutorials during the day and daily life, I tend to just really take care of my skin and not put too much makeup on. Yes. So we're just going to pop that around. So that's just to remind you guys, there are people who are under 18 here, and I will remove you if you do comment inappropriate comments to them or to me. Okay. And if you're not interested in makeup, you just leave. That's as simple as that. Okay, so what we're going to do now is, if you haven't seen my last video, I did a what I'm going to use today, so that you could go back and have a look at all the makeup we're going to use today and kind of switch around. So I am really trying to kind of like invest in other things other than makeup and things like that. So using what I have. So we're just going to pop the lid off that. The Rimmel, the concealer I'm using today, I'm going to put my Maybelline Eraser multi-use concealer, because I use this as a color corrector. But the concealer I'll use after that is the Rimmel, the Multitasker, which I think is a dupe for, I can't remember the name, but I will pop it down below. Okay, but do let me know when you're on, and if you are a subscriber, because the point of these lives is I was requested by people to do lives. This is the 11th live, and this is probably the earliest live I've done, guys. I usually go on about 8 o'clock on a Monday, at 8 o'clock Monday night UK time. So I'm testing the algorithm at the minute, but please just keep in mind, guys, that there are people on the live stream that are children. So keep in mind with your comments. But I do really appreciate you guys coming on. Okay, so I'm just kind of popping that underneath. And you can see it just tones things down. So it's just toned down redness, because I tend to get redness in the face. So what we're going to do, now that that's color corrected, we're now going to put on the concealer. That's what we're going to do now. And this is like a lighter concealer than I'd usually use. The consistency is a little bit thicker, but if you move around with it, kind of massage it in under the skin, it does really, really work. So I'm not putting too much on, just a little bit. Just to the areas that kind of need it, like the redness I have. Okay. And then what I'm going to do, because it is a bit thicker, I'm going to warm that up with my fingers. You can see it kind of spreads quite easily along the face. And then we're going to go back in with the Beauty Blender. And we're going to go under there. So what I'm going to try and do, guys, is kind of practice some makeup that, because I'm going to the Chorus concert and Natalie Imbruglia on Saturday, I still want to wear makeup, but I want to wear something that's going to be heat resistant, because we're supposed to get 27 degrees heat. For the UK is very hot for us, guys. And I kind of still want to wear makeup, not too much, but I've loved the Chorus since I was little. They're a band. Have a look at them if you, after this, you can search them on YouTube. And then Natalie Imbruglia is going to be their supporting act. I think most people know who she is. She's from Australia. She's been a judge on America's Got Talent and Britain's Got Talent with Simon Cowell. But she's a singer, a songwriter. She writes her own things. She's really good. So she's the support act. So what I wanted to do is kind of put on some fresh summer makeup, but make it very much heat resistant and glowy. So what I would really recommend, guys, is the Revolution Matte Fix Oil Control Fixing Spray. So oil control will keep your kind of makeup on, still look glowy, but it won't bring out any oils. So because we're not used to this weather, guys, there'll be lots of SPF put on. But I am going to do minimal makeup, but keep in mind that I kind of just want to look fresh, basically. So that's what we're doing. But yes, do take a look at the chorus, guys. They're starting to tour again. They were out in like the early 2000s, I think, or mid 2000s. And they're like pop indie, I would say, pop indie band. Um, so thank you for the hearts. But they're really good, guys. If you know of them or if you've heard of them, do let me know. I realize they haven't released any new music, I think, guys, at least 7 or 8 years, I think. So they're doing all their originals. But you, if you know the chords, you'd know all the songs. So it's quite good. Okay, so that's kind of, I haven't pushed the kind of product anywhere it doesn't need to be. I've really kind of been gentle under the eyes as well. So I've done that now. The kind of, you can see it's just brightened it slightly, not too much. No, I'm not trying to go over the top today. We're going to go in now with the Makeup by Mario, and this is the Sculpting Transforming Skin Enhancer. So we're going to pop that on. This is what it looks like. It's kind of like a liquidy feel to it. And we're just going to, you can use it as a contour, but I kind of just use it to brighten up the face a little bit. But if you haven't seen what I'm using today, I have just put up like a 15-minute video on all the makeup rotation, so you know what I'm using today before we kind of go ahead with it. Let me know if you like these videos, guys, the rotation videos. So I'm just, you can do a brush or you can use a sponge, but I'm just kind of gently buffing that into the skin. So I had the strangest thing happen yesterday, guys, and nothing like this has ever happened to me before. So I'm a support worker, and I support vulnerable, let's say, young adults and adults. So they all live in kind of the same home, and it's like assisted. And we had a knock at the door, and we weren't expecting anybody. And it was like dinner time, and there was this guy at the door, and he said, first of all, he just put down this case. He just dropped a case in front of the front door and said, so I'm here to sell. And he started to take out all these things out of his bag. And he's like, this is my bank account. And he was like straight away trying to get me to buy something. And I had to say, I'm sorry, this is supported living. And he said, yeah, but you have money. And he just wouldn't stop. And he was just going on and taking out everything and putting it on the porch. So like on the actual porch, where like the front door is there, but then there's like a porch in between. And he started taking all his things, putting it on, and I saw he was like, so you can get this, and started to show me, and you can get this and that and the other, and £10 for this. And I just thought, oh my God, how am I going to just get rid of this guy? And I said, look, we can't, I'm sorry, this isn't something I can do. I'm in work. This is a workplace environment. And he wouldn't go. He was like, I'm just giving me a chance. And then he started to say, I've just come out of prison for GBH. And I'm kind of like, which if you don't know in the UK, that's grievous bodily harm. And so I'm just freaking out at this point, and I'm just trying to stay calm. And one of the guys who has disabilities, he's quite not big, I would say, but you know, he's kind of looks kind of quite, I wouldn't say tough, but he's, you know, he's a big guy due to what he has. So he doesn't eat. He eats the same as everybody else, but it's just due to the condition he has. So he came up behind me, and then the guy was like, "Oh, hello," and he kind of stepped back, and then he kept trying to hand me his account and sort code to pay him, and I just thought, this is crazy. He would not leave. And I said, I'm really sorry, we have to go. We can't do anything. And he was like, oh, you have to give me a chance. Please give me a chance. And I was like, oh, what do I do? So my colleague came in behind, and we eventually closed the door. But all night, guys, because I was on the overnight, I was like, is he still around? What is he doing? Like, why would anybody go to somebody's front door and say, I've just gotten out of prison? Like, what do they expect somebody to say? Seriously, like, I was just, oh my God. So like all night, I do overnights. So I do support work during the day, but then I'll do like stay overnight, etc. So even though he had gone and all the guys had gone to bed, I was like, if I couldn't sleep, I think I got about 2 hours sleep. So somebody's just said, yeah, I need makeup. Okay, because I got 2 hours sleep because I was so scared the guy was going to try and come back. And he didn't. And he didn't even look like he was from around. But like when he just said, oh, I've just come out of prison, after like 2 seconds of me answering the door, I just never been in that situation, guys. And so I was just trying to say gently, yeah, no, we can't. This is a place of work. We can't do it. And he's just taking out like towels and, oh, this is for your fridge, and do you have a dog? And he's taking out like these little toys, and I'm like, he had this massive, I mean, it was a huge bag, something you would check in at an airport. And then he's like, oh, I'm genuine, here's my card. And he did have, to be fair, he had like a registration, everything, but he was just so like in your face that he almost kind of, and I'm quite of kind of, I wouldn't say I'm super confident, but I certainly would be able to kind of stand my ground in certain things. But he just made me, he was this kind of person, he just made me like lean back a bit. So I I think about the fifth or sixth time, he then kind of realized nothing was happening. He kept asking for the phone numbers and everything like that. So he did leave, but he kind of left me a bit paranoid. Um, so even though nothing happened last night, he did go. In my head, I was like, oh my God, what if he comes back? He didn't. And I think that was just me overreacting. But I have to say, guys, it was like the weirdest experience ever, honestly. And I'm genuinely like not super confident, but I am kind of a confident person. And he, especially when he said, you know, I'm just out of prison. What does he expect in a reaction? Like, what kind of reaction would anyone expect? So yes, that was kind of the day yesterday. Lots of other things happened, but that kind of was the most drastic and dramatic thing. So what I'm going to do is I switched out the W7 bronzing drops for the Revolution Bright Light. So this has squalene, hyaluronic, and grapeseed oil. So these are really good. If you're wondering what is that, they are very, very good uh, ingredients for skin, basically. So they've really thought through their ingredients here. And it's multi-use. So we're just going to give it a shake. But yes, guys, it was a really unusual situation to be in. But he did go, and I think I was just a bit paranoid that he'd come back. So like I think I've gotten 2 hours sleep, literally 2 hours sleep. But I'm still hyped. I'm not actually tired. I know that doesn't make any sense. I think when I did wake up this morning, I didn't want to get out of bed, but then afterwards it was still in my mind. So I just haven't been able to sleep, basically. And I know I'm absolutely fine, you know, and he's not from the area, so I know he's not going to come back or anything like that. But it definitely made me kind of like I was not that I was triple locking, but I kept going back, you know, making sure I'd locked everything. And I know, you know, he did have a registration number from a charity, but you know, when you answer the front door to somebody and the first thing, well, one of the first things they say is I'm just out of prison, you're not going to really, you know, want that to be something you stay around and find out about, really. Not for me anyway. So yeah, I probably overreacted by locking everything, but I couldn't sleep. I just couldn't sleep, honestly. It was just so crazy. So I'm just looking for my contour brush. So that's what it looks like. But it does blend in really nicely. I think it would go for all medium skin tones. I think could kind of pale medium skin tones could use the Revolution. It only actually came out in 2 colors. So I think this is the lightest and it comes out in 1 more. So let's just again, today is purely testing the algorithm. I know it's super early, guys, and it's a weekday. And there's lots of ones that need to be just spray this. This is new from Shein. This is Menage. This is the 5995 brush. So all we're going to do is spray that gently. And I'm just going to start to blend this around the skin. We are going to go in and kind of set it with a powder, Huda Beauty powder. But I'm just bringing that around the face. If you feel like this is too intense for you, you can always go with a clean buffing brush. Can you see, guys, it hasn't made a huge difference, but it's given me that contoury kind of tanned line, really natural looking. If I kind of sit back and you can kind of see. But I'm surprised, guys, that I'm here because 2 hours sleep, but I feel like that's a situation I haven't been in before. I felt confident that I was okay. But I think he just put it in my mind when the first thing he said was, I've been out of prison. I just thought, oh my goodness. But no, he definitely looked like he wasn't from the area. And the only reason I say that, and if you're thinking, how do you know who's from the area? The guys that I work with, their families all live in the same village. So like everybody knows everybody. So I definitely knew he wasn't from around where we were. So I was confident to know he's not, you know, he's not coming back. But I don't know why he would think of saying that, you know, as soon as somebody opens the door, something like that to somebody and not expect kind of a very kind of stressed reaction. So I can see, guys, that the under eyes are looking a little bit tired. So if you have looked at the video earlier, you know that I've chosen the Revolution baking powder, and I do just use it purely for setting my under eye. So that's what we're going to do. I got these from Shein. Don't be scared, guys, if you're on. I have had a few messages to say I do look at your lives, but sometimes I'm nervous to comment, and I get that. I do completely get that. But do let me know, guys, if you're on, like or subscribe. So if you've just joined, I do makeup, I do personal mental health videos as well, and I do smoothies. I do have like a complete playlist, and you can kind of take a look there. But so you can see, guys, just the difference that made. You know, obviously I've been quite tired. I have put on concealer, but obviously look at that. And that was one application. So this is the Revolution, if I haven't said, baking powder in rose. So I've seen people on YouTube use it all over their face. I think it's quite pink. So for me, under the eyes is probably the best thing to do. So that's what we're going to do. We're just going to pop that under the eyes. Okay. And do let me know if you were watching this on replay as well, guys. Okay, and then I just kind of dot the rest because there is a little bit left around the T-zone. So usually my lives are Monday at 8 p.m. and they will still continue. But I wanted to just test out the algorithm basically. I've done 11 lives because they were requested by subscribers. So that I've done 11 so far, mostly at the same time. I would say Mondays between 6 and 8. 8 doesn't seem to work for a lot of people. 6 worked for kind of a couple of weeks, and then I got a couple of people saying they were in work and they couldn't, I have to go now, and that kind of thing. So I'm trying a little bit earlier, but I know it's early, it's lunchtime, guys. But I just thought, why not test out the algorithm today? I've got a couple of hours free. But that was my kind of, you can see, guys, it's just made everything a little bit more kind of calm, basically. So what I'm going to do is set that kind of liquid bronzing drops, and we're going to set it with the Glow Wish from Huda Beauty, and this is what this looks like. I think this is the only color it comes in, but it is a medium brown, so I think it would suit most skin tones, and that's what that looks like, the marble effect. Very like Laura Geller, I think. So we're just gonna, this is a new brush I got from Shein that I haven't actually used yet. I've got to wash all my brushes today, so that's going to be a task. Okay, so this is a clean brush. I am going to spray it just because when it hasn't been used, it can still be, you know, you just need a little bit of dampening. I'm going to take some water in a minute, guys, because I'm just not used to this heat, honestly. Okay. But yes, the cores I'm looking forward to seeing. The Verve are playing tomorrow, but I can't make it. I'm in work. If you know the Verve, guys, they were around a long. If you look up Bittersweet Symphony, that was, I think, their most famous song, Bittersweet Symphony. It's not like a it's like, it was really, it went to number one, I think, but it's not like a super positive song. But they have others, but they were, if you're thinking what were the Verve like, they were kind of in between Blur and Oasis, but a bit more kind of serious. I didn't really listen to a lot of them, but their tickets were sold out. And it's an outdoor concert, so it's all outdoors. It's standing as well, so that's not seated in any way. And we are due 26 to 27 degrees. So on Saturday, and I'm going when the Corrs and Natalie and Bruglia are playing. She's their support act, so I think she's doing, like, you know, that song Torn, and there's other ones she's done. I think Torn was her most popular one. But yeah, always wanted to see the Corrs, so that's that. So it's kind of, we're going to buff that out, guys, because I can see there's a couple of harsh lines there. So we will buff that out just with a clean blending brush, and then I'm going to take a drink and show you the blush that I'm using. Is super cost effective, guys. It's from Shein, and their beauty section is called She Glam, and this is in Birthday Cake. So I'll show you that. I'm just going to get a drink and pop the lid back onto the Revolution. But do let me know when you're on, guys. And what I mean by comments is that I understand there's people that look at this, and if they're going through something and you put something on that's not exactly positive, it's not going to make them feel good. I certainly don't feel good about it, but I'm able to get you out of the live. So just be aware, guys. Obviously, the world at the minute, you know, I'm not a politically, I don't talk about politics very much, but obviously, you know, the world at the minute, and particularly in the US, they're going through a lot. So sometimes people come on and look at makeup lives, and they look at things like that just to kind of get their mind somewhere else. So all I'm saying is be kind to one another. That's all I'm saying, guys. You know, if you're a new subscriber and you've just seen me, absolutely, I'm so glad that you're here. But let's just be kind of kind to everybody. That's all I'm saying. Okay, so I'm just going to take some water, and then I'm going to show you the blush. So this is She Glam. It's in Birthday Cake. And it smells amazing. It smells like candy. This is what it looks like, and you can just literally dot it on, so it's really good for control. But it's strong, guys. It's just to let you know, it's strong. So I'm going to take some water, guys. But don't be afraid to comment. All I was saying, guys, is that we just need to be kind to one another. And if you don't like lives, if you don't like makeup, you can you know, you don't have to look at the live. But if you do, you're more than welcome to, guys, interact and chat. That's what it's all about. But it's just to be kind. Okay. So if you had looked at my live, my previous live, when we put it on Monday, obviously, it did really, there was a lot on, and it was the tiniest little bit. So we're going to be, I'm just looking in the mirror, we're going to be really, really careful. And I'm kind of bringing up the jawline. And the reason I'm doing that is that it kind of accentuates the parts of your face that you want accentuated. So that's as much as I'm putting on. I'm going to warm that up with my finger, and then we're going to blend it out with a blush brush. And that's as much as I'm putting on. And I'm going to put a dry brush, and if I need to wet the brush, I will. So we're just going to pop that on. And that's it, guys. You can see there's a little bit of shimmer coming through as well. And I haven't brought it all the way in because it kind of can. Okay, and we're going to do the same on the other side. So kind of minimalist today. The eyeshadow palette we're going in with is Physicians Formula, and that is the tropical days. But you can do a day and night look with this. They're really good colors. I did it on my live on Monday. You would have seen. And do take a look at it if you haven't. So we're just going to go on the other side, and I'm going really carefully, guys. Again, there will be pictures and natural lighting afterwards. But let me know, guys, what suits kind of you guys in terms of the subscribers time-wise for lives. I always put up my requested longer form content. That's always requested, and I always do that. And then I sometimes review things too, or I go into mental health as well. So do let me know what suits you guys. This is an earlier time. I appreciate that. But I just thought, let's test the algorithm and let's see how things are going. So what we're going to do is just warm that up like we did the last time. But don't be afraid to say hello, guys. I love interacting with people. Quite a chatty person once you get to know me. Okay, so what we will do is just blend that out with the same brush. And you can see, guys, how strong it is, and we put the tiniest amount on. But that also means that it's gonna last a long time for you. You're not gonna have to kind of worry about repurchasing it, even though it's small. A little goes a long way, as you can see. So don't have to worry about that. I am looking a little bit tired. So, and I appreciate that. I got 2 hours sleep last night. If you've been here from the beginning, you'll know why. So what I'm going to do is, this is a quad from e.l.f. It's not new in any way. I'm going to use this one here, and we're just going to go right into the inner corners and just kind of brighten up that eye. So we're going to go into this one, and I'll swatch it for you. So all we're going to do is place that with our finger, and I'm literally just placing it. And if I need to buff it out, I will. We will blend it in, so if it looks a bit harsh, I'm only doing it because I do feel like, obviously, I haven't gotten a lot of sleep, and I want to kind of, we'll blend that out, guys, so it won't look as harsh as it does now. And that's all I'm doing. That was the purpose of it. Before we do any eye look or anything like that, this is a clean blender brush, and all I'm doing is just fluffing away the excess there. But yes, I'm looking forward to the cores. Let me know in the comments if you've ever seen them live. But yeah, I didn't get, and I think I said before, I tried when Oasis came out to get their tickets, but I think I was 1,000 in the queue, and I couldn't, guys. I couldn't wait. And then they got so expensive, and then some people bought them to resell them, and it was just chaos. So I didn't get them. One of my friends got them and saw them, but they were very, very quick to get them, and I couldn't get them in time, basically. But let me know if you saw them. They were very, very good. So that's kind of brightening the eye slightly. So what we're going to do now is go in with, I don't think I brought a matte blush. I think I just used the blush from Sheglam, which is fine. We're going for a glowy look anyway, and that I would really recommend if you're on a budget in any way, Revolution Matte Fix Oil Control Fixing Spray. So the solution is in the name, basically, oil control. So, you know, even if you're somebody who doesn't overheat, at the moment we're getting really hot weather here, so something like this is really good. So excuse me, guys. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is look at the eyes, and so this is it. This is the Physicians Formula, and it's their Tropical Days palette. So it does have, and I said in my live before, guys, I was really surprised after all these mattes to get like a really bright purple and a really bright green. They're like almost shimmer. So what I'm going to do, guys, I also told you that I was running out of my brow pencil, and I've got a little bit left from the Sheglam one. So I'm going to use that. But definitely, guys, let me know when you're on. I've got a little bit left, and I'm really going to just focus on that today instead of having to use something else. Okay. That Essence foundation stick, guys, still hasn't arrived. So I really hope that it hasn't been some sort of and I got it from Now Look, that's the name. You can look on my posts, I put it up, and I went onto Trustpilot because it said 24 hours. So the Essence foundation stick, basically, it's a really light foundation stick and it has a lot of skincare in it. And so I thought I'd buy it because I can't get Essence here. I tried Superdrug, I couldn't find them. I tried Boots, which is our local kind of UK kind of drugstore for makeup. I couldn't find it. So I went on and I found it online, and they said 48-hour delivery, and that was last Tuesday. So we're literally a week later. And every time I check the tracking, it just says in transit. And that's been for almost going on a week exactly. So yeah, I'm not sure, guys, what's happened. So then going back to why I went on to Trustpilot, and they a lot of people saying they spent money and just never got the product. So some people saying, oh really, so some people, it seems to be like 50-50, but a lot of people saying similar situation as me, they can't get the they never got their product. So I'm not holding out any hope, guys, that I'll get it. It's just a shame. I did put feedback and the company didn't come back to me. So on Trustpilot, the company have an option to respond to a customer, but they didn't come back. So that's not looking good, really, is it, guys? So that's kind of, I think that is definitely the end of that now, guys. I just got to think what I can out of that. So if you're just joining, guys, do let me know that you're on. It's always good to know. So what we're going to do is start off with a crease color, and I'm going to be starting off with the cooler tone here that we realized on the live, guys, did come off quite dark. So I'm going to be super careful with that. And we're going to go in with, I'm actually going to just use a fluffy blending brush, so I'm not going to be very precise because I don't want it to be too strong. And because I've got slightly hooded eyes, I always say this, I always go slightly up so that when I kind of look down and go ahead, it's not going to, all the work I've done isn't going to be seen. So I kind of go slightly up. So what we're going to do is take that brown. So this palette you could definitely use, guys. If I just show you again, look at that palette. I mean, look at that blue and purple. And then you've got the mattes here. So there, that's kind of it. That's the only thing. These two colors don't really make sense in the color story, really. But they're nice, they're beautiful. But yes, so we'll look at that at some point. But definitely look at your makeup, guys. There's so many makeup brands at the minute bringing out a lot of skincare in their makeup. So they're saying that they've got a lot of skincare. Hyaluronic acid seems to be a lot of foundation in a lot of foundations at the minute. Squalene, things like that, grapeseed oils. Can you see, guys, how strong that is? And we only literally put on one kind of coat. So that's what I mean. So what I did on the live, if you remember on Monday, if you did see it, is I went in with a separate fluffy brush, which we're going to do now, and then it calmed down. So you could like that intensity if you want to, but we want to calm it down slightly because it's during the day. Something I wouldn't wear that strong. And that's when things started to kind of warm up and calm. But you can see now it's a little slightly better, and we are going to be putting on a very bright color in here, so it's going to wake up the eye. But you can see what I mean, guys. The color payoff is absolutely amazing on these Physicians formulas. I always said before that for Physicians formula, I always associated them with like bronzers and things like that. I never really associated them with eyeshadow. So this is my first eyeshadow palette from them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a white color, guys, just under the brow, just to kind of calm that down slightly. I do like the color, and in natural lighting, the photos will be on the post section, but I can see it's quite intense. And so we're just going to go in with this color here, kind of creamish color, and just put that under the brow, just to get that kind of, and we will blend that again with a clean fluffy brush, just so it takes away the harshness. It smells like chocolate, which I always think of Too Faced, but it does smell like chocolate. So, but do let me know when you're on, guys, and do take a look at the channel. So if you do like Get Readies with me, I also do mental health smoothies. I tried a lot of kind of different things food-wise, and I've created a playlist for that too. So if you're interested in anything like that, definitely take a look, guys. I'd appreciate it. And also I'll then look at your channel, and that's the whole point of interacting, is kind of finding out kind of what you guys are about, because that is the whole, for me anyway, the interaction is what it's about. And you know, particularly if you're somebody who's followed my channel for years, and then I start doing lives, and then, you know, as well as gaining other people, you also get to kind of talk to your current subscribers. So yeah, if you're somebody also who kind of, I think at the moment the world is going through a really, well, whatever side you're on politically, the world is going through, I've never seen such chaos. You know, in various countries. And I think if we don't find something to be excited about, so maybe you're into gaming, maybe you're into makeup, maybe you're into the gym, it's so hard and it's so, to get out of that sometimes positivity um, and stay in that negative place. So for me, doing makeup and coming on here, and then that's why I wanted to do the lives, interacting with people. I mean, there's been a lot of lives where we have talked about spirit. It hasn't even been planned, but we ended up talking about like spiritual things, and that is what I love. I come on to do makeup, but I also come on and I'm happy to talk about, whatever is out there, guys, obviously within limits, as I spoke about earlier. But no, that is exactly my kind of focus of the channel. Hi, Gamers Notes. I was eating while you were live. That's absolutely fine. It's, I don't know where you are, but over here in the UK, it was one, so it's about 1:30 lunchtime now over in the UK. So that I thought I'd just go a bit earlier as I had some time today. But I hope you're well. Um, so yeah, you can see, guys, it has calmed down since I first put it on. But that's kind of as strong as I would have it, because we are going to go in with like a kind of brighter color. But guys, yes, I've been on lives before and we've chatted and we've talked about so many things. And it's been really refreshing. And that's kind of what I like about the lives, is they're kind of, you don't know what to expect. So yes, I'll always do the makeup, and I love that. I love kind of making myself feel better. So not changing myself as such, but just making myself feel a little bit better and confident. But I also like the fact that conversation can be very creative, especially if you've never met that person. So you maybe sometimes you do feel more kind of confident, on a stream, and to talk, rather than, sometimes we get overwhelmed and we don't want to tell our closest people how we're actually feeling. Because we are so close to them, which can be good, but then sometimes it can also make you maybe stand back slightly. So that's what I like about these things, guys, is that we do kind of get to do various things. So there's a little bit of fallout I'm noticing just there. Thank you for joining, Gamers Notes. I don't know if it's quite late where you are, like I said before, but in the UK it's lunchtime. So that's that, guys. So I'm going to go and do the other side. I would usually do that off camera on longer form, for time's purposes, but I'm hoping the kind of earlier time will mean that people can join for a little bit longer. So I'm going to go in and we're going to just take that again, take that color. Don't forget, it's super strong. And we're just going to go above the crease slightly, just because I have slightly hooded eyes. But yeah, guys, where you're from is probably dictating how you're feeling. And I have people I know in the US, and I sympathize with all of them. Whatever you're feeling, whatever your kind of stance is on things, whatever your belief, I do really, I feel kind of for everybody there. And I just hope, all we can have is that positivity and hope. So what I'm going to do is go in here. So that didn't actually take too long. We didn't even need to go in with the second brush. So what I'm going to do is go in with this white color again into the inner corners of the eyes, because that's what's going to brighten up the eye. So that's what we're going to do. And we're only going to go less than halfway. So it just brightens it up. And you can see already kind of the difference it's made. And we're going to do the same on the other side. So for me, guys, I visited the States a lot in the 90s. And where I'm from, Ireland, and in America, I always found it like, they used to call it the land of the free, and I was amazed by it. I absolutely loved it. I loved the culture in America. I loved when I went in the 90s, the acceptance of whoever you are. I know we have a very woke culture now, and that's great. I welcome that. But I think America was one of the first countries that like really did welcome whoever you felt you were as a person in any way. And you met so many different cultures, even though it was one country. I found it amazing, guys. I visited in 2016 New York, and I went with a friend we kind of paid our respects to the Twin Towers, everything like that. We went and kind of laid flowers there. But I really encourage, guys, positivity and just remembering the good times, and just, staying close to your family and friends. But again, I love these lives. Is that so? Are you a traveler? I try to travel as much as I can. I have people I know in America, and I still have contacts there. So I did travel to America a couple of years ago, and especially when I was younger. So Boston, New York, that kind of area. Um, and then with my mum, I traveled a lot, kind of when she worked a lot. So when she didn't have to work and I wasn't with my grandmother, we would go holidays. So we went. She liked kind of like Portugal and things like that. So we do things like that together. So I had my mum and dad aren't together, so I always go from one place to the other, which is fine. But now, back then it was like talking. When I was at my mum, we went to kind of on holidays as such because I lived with her. We'd spend every day together, but then actually this summer she would focus on like a holiday for us to go on, and that wouldn't be the States. That would be more, say, like either, we went to Spain, Portugal, things like that, and that was really good too. We went to the Algarve and we went to Zoo Marine, and we got like it's an experience day with the dolphins and things like that. So that was quite good. And then most recently, if you look at my videos in 2022, I went to the Algarve again. A bit older now, so I was able to see different things. And we went on a boat all around the caves. So we saw like the kind of less kind of, I suppose, popular areas. When you think of Portugal, you do think of beaches and the Algarve, and then Lisbon. There's so many shops and shopping, but some of the Algarve is so untouched. So if you go out on a boat, the amount of like nature you see, oh my God, take a look at the video, guys. It was amazing. Honestly, it was one of those moments where like everybody on the boat was really excited and talking, but then when we got to the place, there was just this silence. Everyone was just like looking at their surroundings, basically, because we all come from busy lives. We all, every day, whether it's school or whatever you're doing, work, and then you to be in the middle of the ocean on this gorgeous day and just seeing the caves and all the wildlife. It was just like, I don't know, I've never had anything like that. So I'm so glad I recorded it, because you can always go back when I'm feeling stressed and look at it. But do take a look. I think it was 2023, I think I went to the Algarve when I was a little bit older, but with my mum I went a lot when I was younger. So that's kind of the look, guys. You could certainly go in a bit deeper, but I think I'm going to pop on mascara after the lashes, or after curling my lashes, because I think it's daytime. And I want to just kind of, if I need to go out today, it's not too like smoky for me. I mean, if that's your kind of thing and you love smoky eyes, absolutely do it. But for me, I think I've still got a couple of things to do today, and I think kind of curling the lashes and putting on that mascara that I talked about will be quite good. So do you want me to look at the video? It's up to you. Absolutely up to you. I don't mind. That was like so I showed the Zoo Marine. I show going out on the boat to the caves. I actually purposely recorded because there was a French couple there, people from Portugal, obviously, and speaking English. The reason I say that is that three tour guides came out with us, and they all spoke the language, so that each person, as we got to a destination, they would describe what it is and how, in each language for each person. So it was really interesting. It was a really interesting day. Honestly, it was so good. And then obviously I went to Zoo Marine. I recorded that. And I know a lot of people have sort of negative thoughts towards Zoo Marine, in terms of kind of feeling like the dolphins are trapped and things like that. But they actually went into a massive conversation after one of the shows. And most of those dolphins are like rescues, because the dolphins in Portugal, so wild dolphins in Portugal, this is a really kind of random information. If people aren't interested, I understand. But what they told us was dolphins in the wild in Portugal love tuna. The fishermen, and they love tuna and salmon. And the fishermen that have, say, local restaurants or it's their own business, they're finding that the tuna and the salmon is being eaten, obviously, by the dolphins. And so the dolphins are at risk of being hunted. So what they've done is, so some of the dolphins have been there for years and years, but yeah, so I popped it down and I actually recorded them saying that, so you can see the whole thing. So I don't think it's very long, because I realized, it was getting too long, so I shortened it down. But do take a look. Do take a look. All right, I'll be right back. I'll check the video. It seems very interesting. It is, and hopefully I recorded it enough for everybody to see. But the people had such a connection with those dolphins. It was like I'm teary anyway. If I watch a film and like a dog dies, I cry. I'm just like that. Obviously it's a film, anything like that. But like we were there and we were hearing all of that. And then while they were talking about it, like one of the ladies got into the pool and she held like their fin, and they all kind of went around, and as they were saying it, it was just really like emotional. And so they weren't doing any tricks. They were just kind of coming up to her and swimming around her. It was just really, yeah, it was really nice. And it's interesting for me to know facts. It's interesting to know what other cultures do. So basically, the premise is they were getting hunted quite badly because their main food source is what Portugal's known for. So like it's really good food, seafood, things like that. And so unfortunately, the dolphins were being hunted. And so there is a little bit more of them now, but they have expanded Zoo Marine. I mean, they go into all of the biology of everything. I mean, I found it informative. And of course, if you've got little kiddies, there's a whole park there. So yeah, actually saying that, I've been a Jurassic Park fan. I think the first one came out when I was little anyway. And I saw it and I was just absolutely fascinated by it. And um the premiere of the next Jurassic Park was here. Well, I'm not in London, I'm in Oxford, but it was here in London last night. And the amount of celebrities that were there, it was absolutely crazy. But I thought their last Jurassic Park was the last one they were doing, but they've got a new one again out now. What's it? Johannes, the really famous actress, plays the lead in it. But yes, so the next one is basically is already out. But there was a huge opening last night in London here. So yeah, I want to go and see that. So as I'm looking ahead, guys, I do know that I need to put that white a little bit higher because as you can see, I've got slightly hooded eyes. And so if I do that, you can see it's slightly not really going as far as I want it to go. So I'm going to go back and just put a little bit more. And we're just going to just up here a little bit, guys. So yes, just to kind of make it a little bit more of a smokier look, but also the brightening makes me look a little bit more fresh and awake. So yeah, you have other options there in the palette. So look at that, guys. So if this isn't something you like, have a look at this color palette, color story even. And there's probably things here that you would like. So this has been out for a while. It's not new in any way. So what I'll do is I'll just curl my lashes, get on with curling the lashes. I'm going to take a drink because I'm not used to. Let me know where you're from, guys. But in the UK here, we're not used to this heat. And I'm really bad at drinking water, so I've just got a straw here and I've got ice water here. Okay. So I'm going to just curl my lashes quickly. This is from Studio London by Superdrug. So we're just going to do that now. I always look down, and I always say that looking down really helps kind of control the mascara because you can see what you're doing. Okay. So we're just going to curl our lashes quickly. But do take a look, guys, at the video of Portugal in the Algarve if you've gone there, guys. Let me know if you've been at Zoo Marine. I'd love to know. Obviously there's a really good nightlife there too, so there's not just kind of that side of things. So they do have really good places to go and you know, eating out and stuff. So you do have really good Portuguese food, but they also do other things. So if you like Italian food, I know it sounds strange, you're in Portugal, but they do have various restaurants. So if you're used to a certain food, you can go there, but everything's fresh. Everything's really fresh. I was surprised, guys. So I went into one of their supermarkets when I was there, and it's euros over there. So, but it's really reasonable, really reasonable. So we had to pay euros, but that's absolutely fine. Okay, so that's enough for that. I'm going to go in with the NARS Climax mascara that I got in the Iconic 4. Can't seem to find it. What year was it again? It was 2022 or 2023. But it should be there. If you go down, I mean, you probably have to go down quite a bit in my videos, but it might be playlisted. I'm not sure. But what I can do is link it to this. But it was 2020. It was 2022. I'm nearly sure. And we went everywhere. But it should say Portugal Algarve or El Meisso de Pera. That's actually the town we were in. So that's what that is. But no, it should absolutely be there still. And if not, if you can't find it, I can go and link it below afterwards. But yes, 2022. So have a look at that if you want to. And if not, I can always link it straight after this live. And you can do it that way. So I've curled this lash, and you can even see if I come up close to the difference. It kind of just brings them up, curls them up. Curling lashes, guys, really helps your mascara. Yeah, but it should be there, Gamers Notes. It absolutely should be there. I've left it there. Zoomerine actually, and Trident, which is the company I went with, asked me to kind of link their details so that they could kind of get more recognition. So I did that as well. So Trident are the company we went out with the boat, who had the 3 different interpreters. So we went out and saw the caves and things like that, and they gave us lots of facts. And then Zoomerine also asked me to link their details, and I did that too. So just like mammal conservation, I think that is. Yeah, so that's what I did with that. But it's definitely there, absolutely, definitely there. Just have a look. If not, again, I'll always kind of pop it down below after this live. So I'm just going to start with this mascara. I love this mascara because if you had a look at Huda Beauty's, was it One Coat Woe? You can see, take a look at the live and you can see how we got on with that. So I do prefer the NARS Climax. This was part of a collection I got from New Look. That's a makeup, Look Fantastic even, sorry, that's a makeup website here in the UK. And it was part of the NARS Iconic 4. So Iconic 4 meaning their most popular ever products. So it was the mascara, a concealer, the bronzer, and the blush. So I got 4 of those for £30. So I've been using this since I got it, and you can see the difference it makes, guys. Now you can put on as many coats as you want to, but I like that even though this is a big kind of brush, it gets into the inner corners really, really well. Okay. There's somebody outside my window. Okay, strange. Okay. It would always happen on a live, guys, wouldn't it? Okay, they're waving. This is interesting. Okay. Okay, so, we're just gonna not pay too much attention to that. Okay, so that's what that looks like. You can see, definitely see what that. I'm not gonna go too heavy because it is daytime, but you could certainly use this as a base for like false lashes so that you have something for them to cling on to. I have an aversion to false lashes, so I'm always looking out for a really good waterproof mascara. NARS I know are a little bit more expensive, but they're worth it, guys. They're really worth it, honestly, because the product and the quality really shows for itself. So I think that's okay. Let's leave, yeah, so we'll do the other one. I'll do pictures, obviously, in natural lighting. I do have TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook too, so that's always going to be linked below. Anything I do on the day, I always post on other platforms as well. You can follow me on TikTok, but for security reasons and just what I do for my job, I don't link this profile to TikTok, but obviously the TikTok profile itself. Oh, is it still not there? That is so strange. Did you try? Okay. I obviously can't go into it now, but it's definitely there, Gamers Notes. That's really strange, isn't it? I'll have a look, because everything's linked, because they asked me to link their companies. So I linked the boats that we went out with, Trident, and I linked Zoomerine because they wanted kind of more awareness of their conservatorship. It was one of the videos that I think I got 5.k views on. So that, because they gave me feedback and said, it's really good. People commented and people came and, asked us about, various things, and came and saw us and mentioned, where they, because I think part of Zoomerine's kind of customer service is they ask who kind of, particularly if you go into reception, we have to show our ticket. So you can't go in straight away. They look, you can't pay. You can pay on the desk if it's not really packed, but usually you go in and you show your ticket, and they kind of get your details. And so when we were leaving, they said, I hope you had a really good time. Where did you hear about us? Just out of interest, because I think they were doing like a review on who, customers and things like that. And then I told them, obviously I'd been there when I was little with my mum, and they said, oh, would you mind kind of popping us on a review? And I said I did YouTube, and since I've done that, they've gotten a lot of interest. But it's one of my videos that I have to say, Gamers Notes, got I think 4.2k reviews. So I'm very surprised. I'm getting a bit worried now that you're saying you can't find it. I'm definitely link it below. And if I'll tag your channel just so it's there. But yeah, I can't believe it's not there, and I don't have my laptop to hand, so I want to go onto my laptop. It's definitely there. 2023, maybe look there. Sorry if I got the year wrong, but it still should show in my just in my videos in general. So do take a look, and if not, it's definitely still there. I didn't take it down because they did thank me and say that they were getting really good comments and feedback from when I visited. So yeah, definitely, I will link that below. I'm not sure how you can't see that. That's worrying me now, but I will look. Straight after this, and I'll link it. So we're just going to curl the other lash and put on that mascara. Again, this mascara is waterproof. I like to say waterproof, not just for rain, but also for the times where we have this kind of weather. Like we're experiencing a lot of heat in the UK at the minute. So if you're somebody that wears makeup, particularly mascara, you are going to worry about that waterproof aspect of things, because it's going to be the same thing. You don't want any fallout or any kind of oils or anything to start to come down your face, because that's not what any woman wants or guy wants. So, okay, let's get that mirror again, because we're just going to curl this lash. I don't know why, gamers notes. That is quite strange that it's not being, it's not showing, but I will certainly link it below. Okay, so I'm just curling this lash. I know it's quite boring to watch, but just doing that just to get, so the mascara has something more to grip to, and you've already started to curl the lash. But yeah, I will link it. I can't see it. I've looked every 2020 video. You can link it if you want. I will, gamers notes, because I certainly didn't take it down. I'll certainly do that after this. Okay. Looking down doing mascara kind of gives you more control. So then when you look up, you can see what you've done, and then you can kind of correct it. But looking down definitely gives you more control. But for me, traveling, I think when I was younger, it was America a lot, just due to my family being there. And then as I got older, I traveled myself independently to New York. And we, did all the basic touristy things, but it was really important for me to just pay my respects to Ground Zero. So I did that. And I think New York is an amazing, very welcoming place to anyone. And they are, so I do want to say, that my thoughts are with everybody in America, because everybody just wants equality and they want to be accepted anywhere in the world, no matter where you're from. So, again, this isn't a political channel in any way, but I do really feel, having been and experienced America and Americans and how amazingly friendly and welcoming they are. And what's going on at the moment, I'm not going to kind of go into it too much. I think everybody knows when they turn on the news. You just want positivity and betterness for everybody. So yeah, it's obviously a trying time, but for me personally, when I was a child, it was very much America, and then as I got older, it was kind of more Europe. So one place I've never been to, that if you've been to, let me know, and it's my dream, and I've never been there, is Italy. I've always wanted to go to Italy, never gone there, never had the opportunity to go there. That's the one place I've never been that I absolutely want to go to, is Italy. Let me know if you've been there. Oh my God, I don't know. I've just never been. I've been to Zakynthos, I've been to Portugal, Spain, other little kind of Belgium I've been to, but Italy is like my all-time destination. So yes, so that's that, guys. So what I'm going to do is, I should have really set the makeup before putting on the mascara. So we're going to give that a little bit of time to dry, and then I will set the makeup because I am going out. I'm going to find that lip oil. Did I bring it? I should have brought it. Yes. So we're just going to set the makeup and do the lip oil. This is from Revolution. It's their Pout Lip Oil Hydrating, which is really good. So there's not a stickiness or tackiness to it at all. I really, really like it for that reason, because you can reapply it throughout the day. So we're going to do that now, and then we're going to give that mascara time to dry. And of course, now it won't open. I always notice on any of my lives or videos, if you look at the other video, I think something always happens. It's really tight. Okay. So for some reason that's not coming off, which isn't good because it's very, very new. So anyway, what we'll do is we'll spray our Revolution Matte Oil Control Fixing Spray. And I think I've said a couple of times, I was in Oxford visiting friends a year ago, and it was 25-degree heat again, and it kept every piece of makeup on for like 7 hours. I'm not kidding. So very good in terms of value for money. So it's Revolution Matte Fix Oil Control Fixing Spray. And it's spray mattifying, so it does mattify, but it doesn't take away the glow. So we're just going to do that quickly. I don't put too much on. You don't need a lot, so it does last. And then what I'll do is, off camera, I will pop on the lip oil. For some reason, it's probably the heat. I don't know. I feel really hot. It just won't open, and it's such an easy thing usually. Of course, typically on live it won't open. But I do want to thank you all, guys. I do want to say that all my thoughts are with people, particularly if you're from the US. Obviously, there's so much going on, and from other countries too. But I do want to say this isn't a political channel, but from being very young and seeing American experience the culture, particularly when it's not just a tourist, it's family. So I have experienced the culture. I find them mostly very welcoming. To the Irish, they were very I don't know, very welcoming. And I, you know, hope that things, all we can do is hope in these situations, guys, can't we? Okay, so what I'll do is I will pop on this lip oil after the live. For some reason, it's just not opening. I'm going to finish this water because I am hot. I do want to thank you guys today. And Gamers Notes, thank you for coming on. It was really good to chat to you. Thank you for everybody else who commented. And at the beginning, if you, obviously, I did have to just put out a little bit of a warning to say that I don't really, and you can look at the comments because I actually am purposely keeping them there. I'm not going to, for today, delete them because I do want to see, you know, why I reacted the way I did. I think a lot of people under 16 and over 16 deserve kind of to look at something that they want to and enjoy it. Um, I gotta go sleep because I gotta go to school tomorrow. I'm just finished anyway, but I do thank you, Gamers Notes, for coming on. And do take a look at his channel, guys. He's really, really good at what he does. Sleep well. And I'm going to just finish off this live. Just to say thank you for joining, guys. Take a look at the channel if you want to. Again, I do makeup, personal care, and I also do reviews as well as mental health. So thank you for watching, guys. I appreciate it. Again, pictures will be up in the post section shortly. I will link that Algar video down below when it finishes processing, and I'll see you very soon.